All right. Good morning, everyone. Glad you guys could make it to this morning's meeting. And today we're going to have a speaker that maybe some of you folks have already heard of, Chris Brennan. And at this point, I'm going to have Chris Skolton go ahead and introduce him at this time. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, just a quick little bio. Chris Brennan, current president of Dream Loud Digital Media. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a newly formed company that you started.
Yep.
Prior to that, and I probably shouldn't say prior, but currently, Chris was the marketing and safety manager at Premier Property Services here in West Michigan. So he is still consulting for them. But basically what Chris's company now does, social media marketing, some web design, graphic design, logo design, marketing strategy, search engine optimization, some lead generation, digital marketing, brand design. So pretty much fully encompassing consulting there. Chris is certified in advanced study of information. That would be his professional designation, CAS. Earned your undergrad degree at Central Michigan. Can't make that mistake.
Don't be swearing. You just swore on a recording.
Yeah. And then Chris has spoke at, I think it was last safety convention, and I believe you're on the docket for this year virtually, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. So what I will do is I will turn it over to you, Chris. I assume you'll want to be sharing your screen for.
Yep.
So you should have complete control of that.
All right. I'm going to share the screen. Let me know if you can see it.
We're good to go. Yep. See it.
All right. So thanks for having me today. We had this over the last 7 years at Premier Property. We have kind of gone through a evolution of safety. I see Steve, you helped us, Steve Vanderhill helped us start from the beginning. Do you remember that, Steve, when we were meeting? I know he's muted, but we were meeting in the little conference room and we were talking about how to develop safety, and we had nothing. We literally had no documentation. We had no books, and Steve would come in my office. I had just started as on the safety role, and we literally had nothing. And so Steve and we would sit down in the conference room, and then he would come and do trainings with us. And we were very, very new back then, trying to figure out how to effectively integrate safety, which everyone has to do. It's really not a choice. We all know that. We're in the profession. And so over the years with Steve and then Chris and Rich, we were trying to find ways that our staff at Premier Property Services could integrate safety within the workforce and not make it something that is very difficult for the employees to do. If you're familiar, I'll show you. This is our website, Premier Property Services, and I want to kind of show you what we do. You can see we do painting, resurfacing, drywall, construction, carpet, which involves flooring, emergency, and power wash, and then mold remediation. And then we do, in construction, we do concrete, siding, and roofing, drywall. These are all self-explanatory. We started as a painting company. And then that was 25 years ago. And then we went into all of these different services. And we primarily service apartment communities, but we also service like manufacturing home communities. And we service places like Ramblewood, if you're familiar with that, which is over in Granville, or I think it's Wyoming. But York Creek, which is up in Comstock Park, but we do a lot of different types of properties. We work with Monarch and AMP and Sun Homes, and we work with a lot of different companies, and safety is a huge part of these companies that you really have to have the culture to be successful in the companies, like anything in any industry. And so my task was to figure out how we can integrate safety as a part of our culture. And it took a while. I remember Steve and I, we'd sit in the conference room and we would go through some evaluations, and he was excellent and very patient with me at the beginning. But we wanted to figure out the best way, because at Premier, we have a mobile workforce. So all of these that you see here aren't at the shop and aren't at the warehouse. They're all out in these communities. So it's a little bit harder. We're not a manufacturing company, so we don't do things at the warehouse. We just do things out in different communities. So how do we keep our employees safe, but how do we do it efficiently so that they can do their job well, but be safe on the job? And for a safety manager, it was always difficult for me because we do on average 100 to 120 jobs a day. And so the safety manager can't be at all of those jobs. It's not like 3 job sites or 2 job sites or 1 manufacturing facility. It's 120 small jobs that they're doing painting, they're doing drywall, they're doing roofing here, they're doing carpet cleaning here. And so how do you manage that as a safety manager? And then how do you empower your employees to be safe on the job as well? So with Steve's help and Chris and Rich's help, we kind of tried to figure out what the best way to do it. And so there's many different ways, but if you see this website, there's so many things behind this website that I'm going to show you today that involves safety, but the public eye cannot see it. It's all embedded within the website, and then our employees access it. And so that's what we use QR codes for. We really found that before QR codes, you had to open an app on your phone. I don't know if you guys remember this, but you had to open an app. Then you had to get that app and then hold it over the QR code. Now, phones, you just have to open the camera, scan it over, and then it goes to wherever you want it to go, to a website, call a number. And I'm going to show you guys a lot of different ways that we use it, because we use it quite a bit at Premier. But it's all developed within the website. And kind of our goal here is, as you can see, is we want to kind of promote clear and positive communication within the workforce. And so at the very beginning, these QR codes were kind of met with resistance because they didn't know what it was. It's like any new thing, what is this? And I got to download this app and I don't have time for this. And why do I got to do this? And, and some people would say this, my privacy, I don't want to use my own phone. And so we had to go through a lot of teaching and discussions. And I started very small with our resurfacing department because I know the manager well. And I knew that with the resurfacing department, they're spraying heavy duty chemicals. So they always have to wear masks. They have to ventilate the bathroom and ventilate wherever they're spraying well. They need to use a lot of PPE to make sure they're being safe. And Nate, who is the resurfacing manager, I knew that I could trust him. So we started very small with these QR codes. And then it eventually, as the other departments saw that the resurfacing department was making progress and we were rewarding their efforts with positive reinforcement, they saw that it was easy to use. And then the other departments started to adopt this QR code. So this took years, and Chris and Rich know because they were with us at the very beginning of starting these QR codes. But it took a couple years to integrate this into all of the different departments of Premier. So what I want to talk to you about is why QR codes. You see them all over the place. They're being used more and more in business. I don't know if you've ever watched a commercial and then they have the QR code right below it. And you got 30 seconds to scan it. So a lot of times I don't have my phone, but if you look at buses, when buses are driving by, you see QR codes for that. It's being used more because the phone is really becoming more of the primary way to communicate. People always have their phones. iPad is hard to carry around. Laptop, obviously, you got to open it up. So QR codes are kind of a way as you can see here, it's an easy way to document your safety protocol. And then once the employees learn it, it's very easy to use. And I'm going to show you again today how we use them and integrate them. And then managers find it easier because, for instance, today when all the Premier employees came in, their safety check, their COVID safety check, they scan a QR code, answer the questions, and it's documented. It goes right into a Google spreadsheet with a time, date, and it says, ask all of the COVID questions, and I'm going to show you that. And then it's documented. And if someone doesn't do it, we know right away who hasn't done it. We let the manager of the department know. They let them know, oops, I forgot. And they don't have to come all the way, they can just do it right where they're at. So it's much easier to use it. And so when you go in, and Rich and Chris know, when you go into our warehouse, you see at every table that are spaced apart, there's a paper that says, complete your COVID daily safety check. And we have it at every table. We have it on every door as you go in. And we were considered essential workers at the beginning of COVID. So we had to adapt very quickly. As you know, there was a very short time to figure out what was going on. And so we were already using the QR codes. And so we were able to kind of integrate this in. And I'll show you what I use on the COVID safety check, but we had to really develop this. But this was so helpful for us because we didn't have to teach them. They already knew. And we just shared with them, you know what, you need to scan this QR code. The very first thing you got to do is do a COVID safety check. And so this was very good for us to use. And you can really add on to this and develop it for other things as well. So now here's a question I have. QR codes are a statement, it's true or false. QR codes can only be used with someone that knows how to code. Is that true or false? And it's very much false. You do not have to know how to code. Some of you might be using the QR codes already, and you know that it's very easy to use and easy to integrate. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Chris had asked me specifically to show you how we do it. So I'm going to be showing you how to integrate it and to use it. There's a specific website. And it's very simple. You basically aim the camera, and then you hold it over that and you scan it over the QR code. So you don't have to know how to code to do QR codes. You don't have to be a computer coder. You don't have to go to school for computer coding. Anybody can do it. I don't have my degree in computer coding. My background is in education, you don't have to have that training to do that. And so these are the uses that we use QR codes for. We use it for safety training. So we provide new employee and existing employees with training. And then every time training happens, it's documented. And we all know that with MyOSHA, every single thing you do in safety, you have to document it. So I'm going to show you guys our safety. This is our at ppsdr.com/safety. Now the general public cannot access this. This is accessed by a QR code. A new employee will scan the QR code and it will bring them to this on their phone. So you can see we have our safety guide, and I'll click through this. They have to take a test for their safety guide. We use this called Kahoot, but you can use many different types of programs, and I'm going to show you that. We have our COVID safety certification. So any new employee that comes on board has to take this safety certification, and it's right here. They enter their first and last name, and then they take a 10 questions about COVID and social distancing, wearing a mask, making sure you're using proper hygiene. Again, anytime they do any of these tests, it is all documented, and I know exactly when they're taking it, if they took it, how many questions they got wrong. And so if MyOSHA were to come in and we were to be audited, we could print this out and we could show them, yep, we're all doing the COVID safety check. this is what they're doing. And then it's documented and it's time-stamped as well. So you can't just type it in. It's actually time-stamped. We have ladder safety, which is a very important. I won't go through all of these, but I'll just show you some of these. So this is a big one for us. We're on ladders every day. And so we have, I put all these together. And again, I'm not a coder. I used a program called Canva. They scan a QR code, then they go to this and they look at the material. And then on the right side, they take the question. And you can see all of the employees that have taken the question or answered the question. This goes also to a Google Sheet. But we don't just do this for new employees. If there is a job that requires, like we painted, if you're familiar with on 44th Street, Timber Ridge. We painted all of the out exterior of the apartments. So it was multiple buildings and a lot of ladder and lift work. And so everyone had to take this ladder safety test before they went on that job. And we require this for subs as well. Subs cannot work at Premier unless they take these. They can't, they all have to follow this protocol. So the QR code, it goes directly to all of these things. And this is mobile friendly as well. So we have ladder safety, respirator safety, driving safety, hand tool safety, fall protection, because we're on roofs and you have to tie off on roofs, and then PPE. And then we have this promoting a positive culture where we're identifying how employees are following safety protocol within the company. And then if someone sees that, so if a manager sees that on a job, then they record it, I'll get notified, and then I'll let the employee know that it's been following it. And so we have a fun way to do this where the employees will take selfies, safety selfies, and if they're wearing a mask when they're spraying, on respirator safety, they're wearing a mask and they're using all the PPE, they take a selfie with their mask and then they send it through this positive safety culture. I get it, and then we reward the employee for using a mask while they're spraying that chemical. So this is just kind of the main part of our website. We're not using an app. We don't use a special program. This is all something that we've developed internally. And then with Rich and Chris's help, we kind of ask how to do these things and to oversee these, and then we kind of launched it. So this has been over years of developing it. And Steve remembers, Steve, I'm sure you know, we didn't have any of these things. We didn't have driver safety, respirator safety. And so we kind of developed these things because these are the main areas of where our employees are. They're on ladders, they're driving a lot, they're in communities with children around, walking around in neighborhoods. They're using hand tools every day, so they have to learn how to be safe with them. And so these are the things that we cover. So that's what we do with the safety training. A new employee takes it, and then the employee has to complete it before they start work at all. And then every year we retrain every employee. They have to take it again. So I'll show you and tell me. I'll show you. This is the safety guide that I'm going to try and make it easy. Are you guys able to see that? You can see that? Okay. So this is our safety guide. You can see right here, there's a QR code. So they will scan that, and then it will go to that website I showed you. This safety guide is in every vehicle. So we copy these off and we put them in every vehicle so that they were able to use these and be reminded about these. So I can call, someone and say, hey, can you review the ladder safety? They can take it out in their vehicle. They can review the ladder safety. They can do a safety check here. So they scan this QR code. They can text. So if they want to text me, they'll scan this code. They can call. And then down here is an incident report. So we've used this many, many times. You know, you're on the job and you're out in a community and they need to know how to do an incident report. Maybe something happened, and obviously we don't want this to happen, but every single thing we have to document. So it's very easy. They scan this and then they do the incident report right on their phone. So easy. They don't have to come all the way back into the office, fill out a piece of paper, write down, where, when, how, what was injured, what happened. All they're doing is using their phone, scanning it, and I get notified right away, as do the owners of the company. They want to be notified anytime there's an incident. And so they are notified as well as I am. And then we don't have to wait to do follow-up. I'll call them and talk to them, and then we'll do a follow-up, and then we'll put a plan together on how to solve that problem. So instead of waiting to come back or having to fill out a piece of paper, it's already filled out. And so we are able to be proactive about the situation instead of being reactive. So this incident report has been really good to develop and to be a lot more efficient. So as you can see, we do COVID safety checks. So we have daily safety checks. And I'll show you guys, that is basically right here. And so this is every door in the building, and then it's every table in the warehouse. And Chris and Rich have seen this. Every single time they come in, they have to do this. This is not optional. We've been in COVID for a year. We had to do this starting in last April and May, when COVID was just kind of being figured out, because we were essential workers. So we had to, when we were given the go as essential workers to do some minor work, we had to get this done and make sure it was done. And so we were already doing these QR codes. And so we put this together. It was very easy for me to integrate this because they all were doing the QR codes before. And that's the nice thing about these, is that if you're already doing them, and if you have to add another layer of safety on, it's very easy to integrate this in with your existing system. And so all they did, before they come in, they scan it. They answer the safety check. Ours is in Spanish and English, because a lot of the people that work with us, our subs are, they speak Spanish. They don't speak English. And so we have to put it in Spanish so that they understand it. And then they answer the question every single day. So we use the safety check. We also have a COVID customer screen. And so because we work in residential properties, we work with residents, we have to go through to make sure we're protecting our employees, and we do it with the permission of the managers. We have to make sure that when we ask the community and the managers, property managers, that when we're walking into an occupied apartment, that it's safe for us to walk in there, that the person or the people that are in there haven't been exposed to COVID. So it's a check, and they ask questions about if it's, if there's COVID in there, if they've had testing, and how long, and things like that. So we use this as well, this COVID customer screen. So that's what we use. We use COVID safety checks, and then we have vehicle checks as well. And this is something new we started the end of last year. Obviously, we want to have safe vehicles. And so we integrated this where we have vehicle inspections. You can see it right here. And what they're basically doing is inspecting the entire vehicle, looking at the tires, checking the oil, looking at the windshield, making sure that everything is safe. And so they do a walk around every month. We have someone that oversees all the vehicles, and he came to me and says, hey, what can we do that we can help our employees do these, because they weren't doing the vehicle checks, and he would have to constantly go out there, walk around the vehicle. And so I said, well, we could just integrate it with a QR code they scan it, and basically they answer the questions. They click on it, boom, boom, boom. And then our vehicle manager is notified right away. And it saved him so much time on doing this, because they're already out there and they're walking to their car anyways. And so once a month they can do this inspection. And then he knows when they're not doing it. Instead of writing it down on a piece of paper, make sure you get the paper back to me, put it in my mailbox, and again, it's all digital. It goes right to his box, and it works out very well. So these are the three main things that we use the QR codes for. We use it for other things, but these are the big things as far as safety that we're using it for. The benefits of using QR codes, it's very easy to use and inexpensive. Making a QR code, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it, is cost you $0. So it doesn't cost you anything to do. It costs your time, but it's you can make QR codes with software that it doesn't cost you anything. So I know your owners would probably be happy you're not spending thousands of dollars on safety software. It's very easy to use. And then I have here, employees find it much easier to use than an app. They don't have to download an app. Again, you're using the camera, and it goes right to where you want to go to a website. Again, it's easy to track. So everything is documented. I know what has happened. I know everyone that's taken the training. I know how many questions they got right, how many questions they got wrong. I know if they're going to a job and there's 4 guys going out there and they need to do ladder safety and only 3 guys did it. I know, because there's 120 jobs a day. I know the 1 guy that didn't do it. So I'm able to get on the phone, text the construction manager, say he's got to do this before he even sets his foot on a ladder. And then it's done. They scan that QR code, they get it done. And, it's not about filling out a piece of paper and things like that. And it really promotes clear communication. So it's clear and consistent. I got to change my spelling. You guys see that? All those teachers around here. Clear and consistent communication. It promotes a safe and positive work environment. It saves so much time, and everyone, once they've learned it, it helps them, because you got to look at the nature of the employee. They have jobs to do, and they don't want to be held up with an hour-long, there's sometimes that you have to do it, but if it's efficient for them and it's helping them to get the job done and be safe at the same time, that helps to develop a positive work environment. And it also is clear communication, especially with the incident reports. It's been so much better, because even if someone, we've had, if someone has to go to urgent care, if they've hurt a finger or something like that, when they're waiting in the urgent care, they can fill out their incident report. And we don't have to know what has happened. And if they have to take a COVID test, we know that when they're doing that, and they can communicate. So all of these things provide us with information that makes the communication much better, more efficient, and helps us to communicate at a better level. And we get things done as far as safety a lot quicker. It's kind of eliminating the middleman and saying, make sure you get this done. And it's really empowering the employee to take ownership of it and make sure they get it done. So, the kind of the main safety, this, as you can see, this covers high risk areas. We have that main safety page, which I showed you guys here. This is the main safety page. And again, it's at ppsgr.com/safety. It's very easy to find, but the QR code will take you right there. All new employees must complete it. And then we have a yearly review for current employees. So in January, we require everyone to take it again. And so we'll add new components to it, but it's just good to refresh, especially if you're going to be audited again. And you need to make sure that everyone understands COVID, everyone understands ladder safety, respirator safety. And so it's good to have a refresher, and good to make sure that they're on the same page. And again, every single thing you do on here is documented. It's all goes to a Google Sheet. We have here, I have the sheet here. This is the daily health check, but you can see all of the people that have taken it. And, you know, it's a very nice and easy thing to use. It all goes to Google Sheets. We all know how to use Google Sheets, and it's very seamless. It goes to that. So we use those for main safety. COVID safety, I already told you about, but we do training, resident COVID checks and daily safety checks. And then we do these vehicle checks. So I explained these, but it's helped us to be much more efficient. And then we're continuing to add on, like I was showing you that COVID customer screen. That was something that we added on later because we realized that we had to do it. And so these are things that we had to add on to our existing structure. And it was very easy to do. Jamie called me, says, hey, we need to do a COVID customer screen. And it was around like one in the afternoon. I said, good, I'm on it. What do you need? He gave me the questions. I made this for them, COVID customer screen, put the QR code on, put down, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Put down the questions that he asked me. Then I put it in Spanish and then put it together, placed it on our website. So place it on our website here, and then send it to him about 4:30 that day saying, you're good to go. You have the COVID customer screen. The next day he was able to say, and everyone already knew about it. That's the nice thing. Everyone knew, oh yeah, I know to do this. And then they answer it. If they needed the Spanish, they go to Spanish. If they need the English, they go to English. And then it worked very well. So that is that. It's easy to create. Now I'm going to show you how we create one. It's at this website. There's many other websites you can create QR codes, but I'm going to show you this. I'm going to give you my cell phone if you want to text me afterwards. Again, it's very easy to do, but if you need help on this, it's not a problem. And then, but I use flowcode.com. There's a free version and then there's a paid version. The paid version lets you integrate more capabilities within it, but you really don't need that when it comes to safety. So this is it's called Flowcode. You can see flowcode.com. You got to create an account. And so you can see here, once you sign in, I've already signed in and stuff like that. So you're going to have to do that, but that's not that hard. And then you just choose a style. You choose white or black. So you can choose what you want. You can upload your logo in here. So, you know, if I were to type in, if I wanted to put Premiere, and then I'll just click that. I'll just show you how easy it is. So there you go. Premiere's in there already. So you can see, you can put your own logo in there. Very easy to do. And then you can have these pre-made templates if you want to go to a YouTube page, a Twitter, Facebook. For safety, that's not as important, but and I've never used that. And then you just click it and hold on. Then you got to name it. So you can save it for future use. And then if I want to do vehicle safety, I'll name it like that. And let's see. Okay. So then what I'm going to do, put vehicle safety. And then here you're going to go to a website. You can also go to SMS. You can do a text. So if you want your people in your workforce to text you, you can have them scan that. Phone call. We use this. I'll show you another thing. This doesn't really have to do with safety, but I'm going to show you something we use for marketing, which is very nice. We have all of our services on these little paint swatches, and then they use a QR code at the bottom for our customers to go to the website. So we don't just use it for safety, but we also use it for our customers. And so they have all these paint swatches of our services. They scan it and then they can see our services. So you can use it for that as well. So I'm going to use a website, and then you put the website you want to be in there. So I'm just going to go ppsgr.com /safety. And you can use different templates. You can choose colors. So if you want green, blue, again, this isn't as important, but it's something that you can do. Then you choose a style, you upload your logo, and then you just click create flow code. So after I click it, it creates it. And then it's successfully created it. So this flow code, if I did it right, and this is going to test my ability. So I'm going to take my phone, and then I'm going to open my camera, as you can see, and then I scan the flow code. And let's see if it works on, there we go. And it should go to ppsgr.com. And then as you can see, it goes right to ppsgr.com. And so this is our main website, but you can scan it and you can go to anything that you want it to go to. And if you have a tech person already in-house, it's very easy to integrate this within your website already. If you have someone that already does a tech, they will know how to do this. It won't be hard. You just integrate it within, and then you create that flow code. It's called a flow code, but it's a QR code. That's basically what it is. But I found that these work nice. And what it does, what else you can do on this is that you can track, like here's the vehicle safety. So I can track how many times it's been scanned, how many unique scans. I can track all of the different ways that it's been used as well. So I use that to see. I don't use that as much because every time that someone scans it and then submits it, I get notified automatically. If there's an incident report, I know exactly when it's happened. So I don't use this as much, but you could use this if you wanted to use it more. So, and that's basically how I develop those and use those QR codes. The other thing that I use here, I want to show you, it's called Typeform.com. And I'll show you guys, this is what we use to gather data. And this is the website that we use. But we've been using this for probably 4 or 5 years. It's very easy to use. And again, you don't have to know coding, but it's mobile friendly. And we collect all of our data throughout the whole company on this Typeform because it's mobile friendly and it's easy for employees to use. It's not 10 questions at once. It's one question at a time. Then they click ahead, the next question, and then the next question. So the employees aren't overwhelmed. We use it also for our customers. So if you see here, it's called a VIP customer portal. They fill out, you can see it's Typeform. And if they want to schedule work or something like that, they can click through this, they can figure it out, and they fill it out. So this is this Typeform, it's called Typeform.com. This costs, I think it's we pay $39 or $35 a month. So it's very cheap. It's not an expensive software, but we get our money's worth times 100 on this. We do all of our flood checks on it. We do flood remediation, mold remediation. You can see here, our carpet cleaning techs, they use it and they go to this extraction form. We make it kind of fun. You guys see carpet cleaner makes me happy, you know? And so they're on a big flood. And so they do this, but you can see how easy it is. They put their name in, today's date, very easy. And then they go to the property address, but you see how it's one by one by one. They don't have 10 questions that they're overwhelmed by. They just have to do one at a time. It's mobile friendly, and all of these QR codes are directed to that in our website. So if you have a IT guy or a tech guy, they can embed the code. I'm going to speak a little bit, but most of you probably know what the code is. you complete the type form, and then you embed your IT guy can embed the code on your website, and then you can direct the QR code to this specific page. So and again, we've been using it 4 or 5 years. So, but that's pretty much all. I know Chris wanted me to go to about 8:45. I'm working with, I just want to let you know, we're going to be using the QR codes at ArtPrize. I don't know how many people go to ArtPrize. They are having it this year, but my wife runs a nonprofit, but it's an interactive art exhibit. This isn't safety, but if you want to see how QR codes work, you're going to be able to use it, because throughout the exhibit, you're going to be able to use your phone and see how poverty can be overcome by education. So that's just a quick plug. And I was talking to Chris about that, but if you go to ArtPrize in September and October, you'll be able to see her there, and it's going to be interactive and things like that. So QR codes are good for safety, but it can be used for many different things. I have my phone number. This is my cell phone. Feel free to call me anytime, text me. I have my email on here as well. You can email me at any time. If any questions that you have about this, feel free to ask me. Anybody can do this. That's the one thing I wanted to communicate, that a lot of people say, well, and I said it at the beginning, how can I do this? I've never done it before, but anybody, you don't have to have the background to do it. You just have to have these tools to be able to use it. And it can be integrated within any safety setting. Again, we had a very unique, we have 120 jobs a day, 100, depending on the time. It's a little lower in the winter. So we just had to have something that we could keep an eye on and make sure have our hands on these many different jobs. And so this was kind of the solution that solved our problem. So Chris, I'm going to push it back to you. And if anybody has questions, they can ask.
All right, I guess what we'll do is we'll just open it up to any questions. Chris, I think we'll need you to unshare your screen just for a second. And if you need to, you can pop back in. I guess one of the things I'm a little confused about myself, maybe you can clear up for me. Making the QR code seems pretty easy itself. Linking that to, so let's just say I wanted to do a toolbox talk for each of my departments, linking that to a spreadsheet. How are you doing that? Is that where you need the type form, or is that something else that's out there that is free? Or because that to me makes sense, where it's very easy to have them use the QR code, do a toolbox talk, have it go to a spreadsheet so you can track who's done it, what department, what time, yada, yada, yada. I guess I'm just confused how you're linking your QR code to that spreadsheet.
Well, what we do is we link the QR code to the type form, and that's that software I showed where we put in all the questions. And basically all I'm doing with that is putting in the questions. I don't have to code it. So the type form, there's a little learning curve, but it doesn't take much. And the learning curve is not learning how to code, it's learning where to put the questions. Then you publish it, and then the QR code directs to that. The type form feeds the spreadsheet. So that's the order. It's QR code to the type form, which feeds the spreadsheet. So once they answer that spreadsheet or those questions, then it goes into the Google spreadsheets. Now, you don't have to do it that way. If you wanted to do it another way, where you had the QR code and then you connect it to a Google survey, people use that. That's free. And many companies use those Google surveys. Google Classroom has many free products. You can link a QR code to anything that you want. So if you want to just use the Google surveys, where Google, you can form questions on that automatically will feed to a spreadsheet. It will feed to Google Sheets. So you don't have to even purchase anything. And you can organize it so those Google Sheets are shared to folders, and then you have it ladder safety and things like that. So that's the way we do it through the type form, but you can connect those to anything. And Google has so many resources, it'd be very easy to utilize those as well.
Okay. does anybody else have any questions for Chris? Feel free just to unmute and pop on and ask a question.
Chris, I have a question, and this is Rich. And my question is, I have, the business I'm involved with, we have a lot of clients, right? And I can introduce this concept to them, and they're going to think, wow, this is really cool technology. Love to have this. And as you had mentioned earlier, this is free. There's no cost to this technology. The only thing that's cost involved is time.
Right.
Now, I'll have some clients that'll say, I don't have the time. So would I lead them to somebody like yourself and say, hey, here's Chris and his Dream Loud Digital Media. He can help you with developing these different platforms or these different courses or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I do for Premiere. I mean, you guys know I work there full time, and I'm using that, like I showed you that community survey. That's what I'm doing for them. So if you need that, I'm more than willing to help you develop a plan and to put it together. Just on the time thing, Chris and Rich, and Steve, safety wasn't my only job. And so I had to do marketing, safety, and billing. So I think you just have to find the way to push it in so that it's working for you. So I think if you put the strategy together, you'll have the time to do it, because what it's going to do, it might take you time at the beginning, but at the end, it's going to save you a lot of time, because our incident reports, all of our safety trainings, it's saved us so much time. But because before, we used to sit down around a table for 30 minutes and do a toolbox talk. And I'm not saying that we still do those, but with a mobile workforce, it's sometimes much more difficult. And so this saves us time. They're doing a toolbox talk. I know how they're answering. So it took a lot of time to put it together, but it's saving us a lot of time at the other end. So, but yeah, I mean, if someone would need help, I'd be more than happy to do that. They can email me or text me.
We had a question come in from a chat board. What platform did you use for the training?
This training, or you're talking about, is he talking to Jamie? Are you talking about this training or the training that we use for safety? I think if he's talking about the safety, we use that Typeform.
Your toolbox talks, you use the Typeform?
Yep. And then
okay.
We use the Typeform, and then all of this training here, that is done through, this is taken the hand. So I'll show you this. This is all on our website, and this is basically MyOSHA, all of this information. That's the nice thing about safety, is if you copy, it's fine. And so I looked at what MyOSHA has, and I put on hand tool safety. Again, I didn't make these up. This is all things you can get on the MyOSHA website. And then this Kahoot, which we use, is the fun way. And I saw another question in here. How do you integrate positive? And I guess my screen's not shared, but
you gotta share your screen to see the Kahoot.
Yeah, my bad. But we use that to develop the Kahoot to do the testing. So
if you want to share your screen so people can see, because I think you went through that in your presentation a little bit.
Yeah, let me just quick share it.
There we go. It's coming up.
And I will get back. Let's see. I got a lot of tabs. Okay, so this tab here, this Kahoot is a lot of fun. And I saw a question on here. I'm just going to do it for you. I'm not going to do all of it. But this makes learning about safety and toolbox talks so much fun, because it makes it competitive. So I'm going to enter my name, and this is hand, and then click go. And then you guys will see it counts down. And then the first question, true or false? I should always wear eye protection when using hand tools. And I click true. And I got 1,000 points for that. Pretty awesome, huh? And so then I go to the next one. I won't do all of this again, but you can see how it rates people. So I got 1,000 points, Mark, Joseph, Jamie, Mitch. So I want to try and beat them. Now, what am I doing? I'm learning about hand tool safety, but I'm also putting in competition in the workplace, healthy competition. So I do the next one. Who is responsible for wearing the proper PE for the day? My manager, me, safety manager. And so obviously it's me. So I have 1,000 points. Then you can see, oh no, I went down, because it's also rated on rating. And so you can see all of the employees. I'm 22nd out of all of these people. And so this Kahoot is so much fun. We kind of make it, we give awards for it. We, hey, Mitch, you're in first place now. You know that? And oh yeah, I was doing really good on that hand tool safety. And he's beating the construction manager. And so the construction manager is kind of fun, having fun with it as well. So I'm not going to do all of this, but this is what we use for our training.
How much does Kahoot cost you guys per month? I'm assuming that's not free.
It's like 120 a year. It's so cheap. It's an education platform. Their website is kahoot.com. So you can go to that. It's for education, but you can use it for work. You use it for training, presentations, lots of fun, but they have it. You can use it for work as well, and that's what we use it for. So, just
as kind of a quick disclaimer for everybody here, we're not pushing any one side, one thing. It's just this is just something that Chris had put together for his company, and it's really increased it. So there are other options besides it. So I don't want anybody that this is that's what.
Of course. Yep. Yeah, and I don't work for Kahoot anyway, so I'm not making a. We've used Kahoot for probably 3 years, just because it makes it a lot more interesting. A toolbox talk. Oh, we're talking about ladder safety again, or we're talking, but this makes it engaging, and we have a little competition, and we do a lot of positive reinforcement using this as well. So, yeah. So that's what we use.
Well, any other questions?
Hey, Chris, I just had a quick question. I was just wondering if you guys use the QR codes to report any near misses to help promote your safety culture.
We do. We're adding that on. Now I'm not the direct safety manager. I work as a consultant. So our safety manager, he was talking to me, hey, we need to have something for near misses. And so, yeah, that's a great question. We're working on that now, where we're gonna place that in, and it's gonna be a near miss, and then he will be notified. I will, and then the owners. But that's a good example of, what, you're never there with safety. It's like you never arrive. We all know that. You can't be the most safe. You just want to keep becoming more and more safe. So that is one of the things we're integrating within, to put near misses in there. And there's so much more to do. You just got to keep going layer by layer. So,
yeah, I guess one of the reasons why I want to join here is I kind of envision it from a safety perspective. If I step back into a manufacturing setting versus consulting now, especially if I have a mobile workforce, kind of like what you have, and I kind of picture just a sheet or even maybe a wallet business card or something that could be kept with a number of QR codes on there, whether it's kind of like what you have that you put in your car, or you've got your QR code for your toolbox talk. You've got a QR code for your incident investigation. You're going to do a near miss. It could be a vehicle inspection. Just this one page, and pretty much the people just have to pop out their phone, hit it, and go. And so that's one of the struggles in safety, is how do you get easy communication out to your employees? So I just saw this as an easy way to engage employees. Everybody's on their phones anyway, all the time, it seems like. So it just seems like a very easy way to link everything up together.
And just real quick, Chris, we've integrated our customers into this as well, because when we're on their property, they want us to be safe. And so if we see something positive on their property, like a maintenance guy turning on the air condition for our our employees before they get in. It gets really hot. The maintenance guy from the property turns on the air conditioner and it keeps it a cool environment. We report that. That's a positive thing. And so they say, hey, Gus turned at Woodfield, turn on the air condition, and it made our job so much better. I get that notification. I pick up the phone and I call the property manager and say, hey, just want to let you know, we really appreciate Gus and we appreciate what he's doing to help our employees. And then every time we walk back on that property, guess what happens? There's that positive relationship because we're recognizing how we're working together to be safe. And so we've kind of added these layers on and involved our customers, and then it kind of reinforces that relationship that we have with them. And then they know we're being safe as well, while we're on their property.
We had a question come through. I don't know if you see it on the chat or if you need me to read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
All right. Just for everybody else, you mentioned having to notify a supervisor to have an employee conduct training. You referenced ladder training before they started work. Is there a method you are utilizing with QR to prompt employees in advance? For example, is there a means to notify employees of upcoming trainings that are due? This person has a concern that they have over 700 employees in the organization.
Right. And we have 60 to 70 employees. So this is something that you would really have to, manage. If they have over 700 employees, this seems like with 700, I would start small, with one department and then keep adding on to it. Again, I've never had over 700, so I wouldn't know directly, but we started small. I think with anything you have to start small, and then build onto it. So, Jameson was mentioning with a supervisor. I found a supervisor that I knew worked well with his department and that would be open to change. Because if you're working with someone that is very closed and wants to do it, we do this way all the time. That's very hard. I worked with a department, Nate, who I knew that he's flexible, he's open to new ideas, and he'd be a positive part. So with 700, it seems like you would have to start with a department or start with your upper management and maybe do it with upper management and then kind of go down from there. But that's a great question. I've never had to deal with it, but that's how I would probably do it, is just start small.
So basically you're saying,
all right,
start small, work out your kinks, and then roll it out from there.
That's exactly what we did.
All right. Hey, I want to thank Chris Brennan for doing this presentation. We are at the top of the hour. In fact, a minute over the hour. And I want to respect everyone's time. Everyone has Chris's number and his email. So if you have any additional questions, please go ahead and reach out to him. And I am confident that all in attendance had gotten something out of this, very beneficial. I don't know of any other technology. Well, QR technology has been with us for a while, but I don't know of anybody else that has taken it to this level. So Christopher Brennan, I want to thank you for this presentation, and we hope to hear more from you in the near future. Now I want to switch over next. Well, it's actually this month yet. We still have another technical meeting coming up. It's going to be held on Tuesday, February 23rd at 8:30, and invites will soon be getting out probably towards the end of next week. And it's going to be safety leadership as a topic. What does it look like? What's new and what's next? It'll be presented by Jonathan Zimmerman. He was our former regional vice president before Chet Brennan had taken over. And he's going to be discussing tips on safety leadership, and will lead a discussion on future trends and thoughts on where fresh and safety new culture and leadership ideas may be coming from. He'll also talk about severe injury and fatality prevention, human performance, visual literacy, and research from the Campbell Institute and lessons learned from history into this field. So I hope you guys can all join us. And if you know of anybody else that would be of interest to this, make sure that you spread the word about this upcoming event. And again, Chris, thank you for presenting for the American Society of Professional Engineers, or Safety Professionals of West Michigan chapter.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And with that, everybody have a great rest of the day, and have a safe week.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.